Good afternoon. I'm Grace Devine, and it's summer here in Mount Shasta that he wants to have put here. It's going to land here. No, actually it has to get built, right? Here's the doctor, and he's going to tell us what he's a doctor of and how he'd like to a mountaineer with a new creation that is full of hope and vision and all kinds of wonderful dreams of what things could be. We know how things are right now. They're kind of like in squares and boxes. And he's got a whole new idea. Actually, I have seen his designs that he did at Harbin Hot Springs, where he created these domes for teaching the Watsu, which is a type of massage that they do in the water. Very relaxing. I hope he's going to put a few pools in also. So he has bought the land that's just south of Les Schwab and facing the mountain on the east side, and he's going to tell us about the structure that he plans and everybody and what it's going to contain. All right, thank you. And here he is.
Okay, so I am a doctor of architecture and education, and have spent many years studying nature, how nature works, how nature thinks, how it creates things, how it uses different processes and materials to do some remarkable things like how does it create a beehive that has its own air conditioning system and its own insulation system that's equivalent to about 16 inches thick of solid brick wall and is many thousands of times lighter. You know, how does nature do that? How does nature make a termite structure that's able to maintain its own temperature and humidity inside within 2 degrees, even if it's 140 degrees outside or freezing outside, it can still maintain this 2-degree range inside. Well, that's something that we can't do. And if you put a termite, if a termite became the size of a person, the termite's nest would be half a mile high. Well, have we ever built a building half a mile high? No. So how is it that a termite, which happens to have been here for billions of years, how is it that it has the mind and the knowledge to create this kind of structure that doesn't use any mechanical power, that maintains temperature and humidity inside, and that is virtually indestructible, that has its own cooling system and its own venting system, and is many ways far superior to anything we've ever created. So how is it that the termite knows how to do this? Well, not only the termite knows how to do these things, but birds know how to do it, other insects, marine life, all kinds of living things can create wonderful, incredible structures which make our structures look very infantile and foolish, actually. And in many ways, our structures are foolish because the wood frame box structure, or maybe masonry or steel, whatever it might be made out of, the box structure is a terrible way to create a shelter. It has no aerodynamics, it has no energy efficiency, it has no resistance to earthquakes and disaster conditions. And it doesn't even accommodate us very well. I mean, you know, when we move around in circles and arches, in continuous curving patterns. But our buildings and our built environment is made out of this rectilinear, straight line, angled grid, which really doesn't accommodate the way we naturally move anyways. So how is it that we've been stuck for thousands of years in this kind of a situation, and had to adapt to it? And I think we're trying to compensate for that in many ways. You know, we become angry. We feel alienated. We feel like our environments are not very colorful. They're not very pleasing, and they certainly don't make us happy. So why is it that we put up with this approach to our built environments? Well, what we want to create is, maybe for the first time, is to create a building the way nature would like us to live. the way that nature would create a structure for human beings. So what would that structure be like? And that's what we're about to create with the Telos building in Mount Shasta. It's a building that would use materials and methods of construction and forms and aerodynamics and energy efficiency and energy production in ways that have never been used before. In fact, this material has never been used in an architectural setting before ever as well. And it can do things like, can you imagine a building that's completely transparent and translucent? Have you ever seen that? No. Can we even see the way an inside of the building works? No. So just think, if you came across a building where you could see the water flowing inside the building, where you could see electricity moving from one area to another, where you could see the light glowing. Now, wouldn't that be an incredible experience just even before you even enter the building? Well, these are the kinds of ideas that we're working with to create this new kind of architecture. And it certainly would be a new jump, a new dimension of architectural building. And so this building is like that. It also features something that no other building has, which is that it becomes convertible, that it can open up and close. So can you imagine being inside of a floor and then all of a sudden the walls just fall away and you're outdoors? Wow. So and just think, with the push of a button, if your walls became from opaque or translucent, they became transparent with just the flick of a switch. So you suddenly, from walls, you see nothingness, and you see the out of doors, and you see the sky and the sun and the clouds and the changing hues of color of the sky and the night stars and so on. It would be a totally different kind of architectural experience, and that's exactly what we're going to create. How does the building itself help the community? This is not just an idea that's plopped anywhere in the earth and then it just becomes a kind of tourist destination. This building was created because Mount Shasta is Mount Shasta, and because there are many special things about this area, that the building is a kind of continuation, a kind of a continual expression of the flora and fauna and the insect life and the animal life and the weather conditions and the whole ecology of the Mount Shasta area. So the building becomes very much a part of the community. So how can architecture help the community? Well, that's something that's never been asked. Can architecture even help the community? And most architects don't even care about that. You certainly don't find it in that question asked in school or in books. So what I want to prove with this project is that architecture can actually physically, measurably help the community. And how would it do that? One way is that this building could act as an economic engine for Mount Shasta. One way it would do that is by giving back the excess renewable energy that's created by the building, and then helping to pay people's utility bills who really need help with those bills. And I've already talked to the Pacific Power Company, and they're willing to do that, to create a program to do that, to help people in the community.